Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm showing you this latte makeup look. If you haven't heard or seen on YouTube, this trend, this like latte makeup look trend has really taken off. I believe it first took off on TikTok. I don't have TikTok, but I just saw people posting about it. And this is my favorite type of makeup look. And if you have come across my channel, you are very aware that my favorite makeup looks are very monochromatic, warm, brown shades. Those are just my favorite. I think they're just so beautiful on everyone. I think they just look good on everyone. They're suitable for any occasion because it's nice and neutral, but the warmth of these latte tones, they just work beautifully for every complexion and every eye color. So when this sort of trend took off, I knew that I had to put my spin on it. I still wanted to keep the skin really glowy and natural and fresh looking, but the eyes nice and warm. Those really beautiful caramel latte vibe. But I feel like this beautiful warm brown caramel latte, this kind of like soft smoky eyes, is just really suitable for absolutely everyone. These monochromatic tones will look very beautiful on everyone as well. So I just wanted to show my take on it. So if you guys want to see how I got this latte makeup look and showing you all the steps in depth, just keep watching. So latte makeup is all the rage currently. You've probably seen a million videos, but I just thought it would be fun to put my take on it. So I've already gone ahead and primed my eyes using the Rare Beauty Tinted Eye Primer. And I'm going to use a few different eyeshadow sticks, and I'm going to keep this a very monochromatic look because I think that's the point of latte makeup, is it for all to be like these brown, warm brown tones. So I'm going to start off with this Victoria Beckham. This is the Longwear Crease Proof eyeshadow stick in the shade Trench. This is probably my favorite shade of all of them just because it is pretty much my skin tone. It's like the teensiest bit deeper, but I like this one because it's easier to blend out than some of the other ones, and it's just definitely my favorite shade. So I'm just applying that basically all over the lid and then blending it out. I'm almost using this as a transition shade, so I am applying it to the crease as well. But this is a little bit warmer and a little bit deeper than my skin tone, so it's going to give me a good base to work with for some of the other shadows over top. I am going to add a little bit of definition to the eyes, and I'm going to take this Hindash Eye Tone Pencil in the shade Intra. It's just a really pretty warm brown shade, and I'm just keeping this from the middle of the eye to the outer corner of the eye. And I am going in really small movements. I'm almost just dotting this along my lash line. And since this is a kohl, I don't need to work one eye at a time because this pencil doesn't dry down. It's a really nice smudgy pencil, but I'm basically just putting little dots along the top lash line, just on the outer corner, starting at the middle of the lash line, moving outwards, because I am going to blend that out and I don't want a very precise line. I'm going to take this BK Beauty 204 brush and I'm just going to smudge out that top lash line. So I'm smudging it at the outer corner first and then working in the middle just so I get a smoky line. And then in the outside corner, I'm going to kind of elevate that outer corner ever so slightly, but I'm not creating a full-on wing. I'm just lifting the eye ever so slightly. And then I'm going to go in with this Vieve. This is the eye wand in the shade Camel, which is honestly like the perfect latte shade. It's this beautiful warm tone brown that is very latte colored, but I don't like to apply this directly onto my eyes. I find it way easier to apply these sorts of pencils if I go in with a brush. So I'm taking this Wayne Goss 18 brush. I don't believe this is currently in stock, but just any sort of dense buffing brush, and I'm going to apply that first onto the outer corner of the eye, just laying that color down to get more, I want the most definition in this outer corner. Build up that dimension there, and then with the excess product, I'm going to just run it onto the lid because I do want that kind of monochromatic look again, but I definitely want that most pigment to be on that outer corner and the most definition there. And then again, with that excess pigment, I'm going to kind of just take the excess off on the palm of my hand. And then I am going to run that excess pigment through the crease, just so we have a nice soft transition that will blend in really nicely to this Victoria Beckham. This is the Trench shade. it's just going to be more seamless and everything's going to look soft and there's not going to be any harsh lines or edges. And I'm just going to go in with a little bit more intensity just right on that outside corner. So I just picked up a tiny bit more product because I really want the outer corner to be the deepest part, like I said. And then again, just blending all over the lid so that everything looks nice and monochromatic and really softly blended into one another. I'm also going to apply a little bit of this Vieve eye wand, getting off that excess product. I'm gonna run that along the lower lash line as well. So I'm just gonna apply that to the tip of this brush. And then I'm gonna look up and apply that mostly towards the outer corner of the eyes to add a little bit of smokiness there as well. Make sure that it connects well with the upper outer corner. And then I'm going to also take the Victoria Beckham Trent shade and I'm going to apply that on that same brush. This one I don't need to be as careful with because it's such a light color, and I'm going to completely blend that lower lash line together. I feel like these are the perfect tones to make any eye color pop, because if you have brown eyes, these warm tones are really going to bring out the warmth in your brown eyes. If you have green eyes, they're going to make your green eyes pop because, again, the warmth of these like caramelly browns. And blue eyes, which is what I have, they'll make your eyes pop because, again, the warmth is going to contrast with your blue eyes and make them pop. I am going to finish it off with a little bit of a shimmer on the lid. So I'm taking this Victoria Beckham Lid Lustre in the shade Honey, which is one of my favorite one and done eyeshadows. I prefer to use these with fingers. They honestly do not apply very well with a brush. So I'm going to just take my fingertips, dip into this shadow. And because I'm someone that doesn't like a ton of glitter or intermittent shimmer, I like to kind of just press the shadow together to make sure that it doesn't apply too many of the shimmer flecks. I find that that just kind of disperses them a little better. And then I'm just pressing that onto the lid. You could just leave the look completely matte, but I thought this honey color would be perfect for a latte look because it's a really beautiful warm tone, kind of caramelly brown. Actually, honey is the perfect name for it. It's really beautiful, and I think it will just complete this look. And then for the final touch, I'm just going to take this completely blank brush, has nothing on it. I'm just going to run over the edges just to ensure everything is very seamless and there are no harsh lines. Of course, a brown mascara is a must for a latte makeup look, so I just went in with the Chanel La Base mascara and the YSL. This is the Lash Clash mascara in the shade Brown, because it just pairs very nicely together, all very monochromatic. For the skin, I want the skin to be really glowy, and I still want it to be natural looking, but I want a bronzed glowy skin. So I'm going to take the Clé de Peau. This is the Radiant Cushion Foundation Dewy in the shade 030 Medium Ochre. So this is their beautiful cushion foundation. This is more of a medium coverage foundation, but you can get a light coverage. So I'm going to go in with the Sonia G. This is a classic base brush. And what I like to do to just get a nice, natural, lighter coverage is I just like to dip into this once, and then I'll kind of just make sure there's no excess product on the brush and just make sure it's really evenly distributed on these bristles. And then I'll start by just applying it to the skin. This will give me a really nice light coverage because I barely have any product on this brush. So I'm just stippling it into the skin, pressing it in, and I like to kind of start on the outskirts of the skin and then work my way inwards because I like the least amount of product to be on the center of the face. And then I'll work on the forehead as well. I absolutely love this foundation. It is called the Dewy foundation, but I don't feel like it's a really glowy foundation at all. On me, it's more like of a satin finish, and it does get a little bit glowier throughout the day, but it's nothing that looks greasy at all. It's actually a very long-lasting foundation. One of my most long-lasting foundations because everything just holds into place very beautifully together. It doesn't fade awkwardly or anything. It doesn't crease up. It just wears so beautifully on the skin for long periods, and it looks so beautiful, and it's such a soft focus effect. It is a very blurring foundation, which you guys know is one of my favorites because I like foundations that kind of give you that filtered appearance, and this does exactly that. It just sits on the skin so elegantly, and it is a very sophisticated finish foundation. It truly is remarkable. I love everything about this foundation. I want to go in with a little bit of a cream bronzer. I'm going to take the Chantecaille Sheer, this is the anti-aging face tint in the shade Sheer Bronze. And I've already gone through so much of this, but this is just a beautiful tint. You can use this all over the skin, almost as a foundation replacement. It works really nicely as a primer as well. You can apply it all over the skin. You can mix this in with your foundation if one of your foundations is a little bit too light, or you can use it like I'm going to apply it right now as a bronzing product. So I'm just going to take a little bit on my hand. I'm going to take this BK Beauty 101 brush, and I'm just getting that evenly distributed onto this brush. It is a very sheer tint, so it's not crazy pigmented. If you're someone who is new to maybe cream bronzer, this would be an excellent product to start with because it just gives you such a sheer tint of color. You're not going to go overboard with this sort of product. It has a nice translucency to it, so it is a very sheer bronzer, and it won't look makeup-y on the skin at all. It looks very, very natural and very skin-like. So I do really love this just as a tint on its own without foundation underneath. It is gorgeous. In the summertime, gives you a beautiful bronzed effect. I really wish they would come out with this in other shades though, because I don't think a universal bronze shade will work for everyone. The concealer I'm going to use is the Givenchy. This is the Prisme Libre Skin Caring Concealer in the shade N250. This is just such a great concealer for the under eyes and the face as well. So I'm just going to apply a little bit under the eyes, and I also like to clean up that edge on this outer corner to give my eyes a nice lifted effect. And I have a little blemish there, so I'll cover that up. I'm just going to take a damp beauty blender sponge and press everything into the skin. I'm going to quickly touch up the lower lash line and just go in a little bit more with that Victoria Beckham Trent shade now that I have concealer on, and I'm just going to make sure that everything on the lower lash line is blended out and is nice and soft. Just that there's not a harsh line from where I applied that concealer to where I applied that eyeshadow. I also went ahead and tightlined my upper waterline, so I just went ahead and lined that gap there that happens between your lashes and your lash line. I'm going to just quickly do the lips just while I'm here. I'm going to start out, I want to do, again, everything is more monochromatic, so I want the lips to be a little more brown. I typically go for like a more pinky nude. So I'm going to start off with this Chantecaille lip definer in the shade Natural. And just line the lips. I am going to kind of blend in that lip liner because I actually haven't worn lip liner in so long. I feel like it looks a little weird on me now. And just blending that in. And then again, for a more browny tone, I'm going to first, I'm debating. Should I go in? I'm going to start actually with this Sisley. This is the, oh gosh, what are you called? This is the Sisley Phyto Lip Tip Twist in the shade 24, which is a really nice, it's like a pinky brown. Maybe not as brown as this should be. I feel like for this more monochromatic look, I need something a little bit more brown. So I'm going to take this Merit Signature Lip Lightweight Lipstick in the shade Slip, I believe it is. Yes, it's a little more of a brown tone. So this will be a little bit more in line with that monochromatic look. I typically don't wear really like brown toned lipsticks, but I don't actually hate how that looks. I am going to finish it off with a gloss. I picked up this Victoria Beckham Posh Gloss in the shade Bikini, I believe it is. Yes. It is kind of a pinky nude, so I'm just going to apply a little bit. I'm just curious to try this formula because I've heard good things. I'm just going to apply a little bit to the center of my lips, and then again, I like my lips to be more lifted, so I am going to blend everything together. I do like that formula. It's really nice. It's a very lightweight lip gloss, so that's really beautiful. I'm going to go and finish off the face. So for the cheeks, of course, I want a more bronze tone highlight. So I'm going to take this Clé de Peau. This is the Luminizing Face Enhancer in the shade 22 Shooting Stars. This is an absolutely gorgeous bronzy tone. I know it looks like it's going to be too deep for me, but once it's blended into the skin, it's really not. I do want the highlight to be very soft though, so I'm just going to take this BK Beauty 202 brush, and I'm going to dip in this face enhancer, tap off the excess, and then I'm just going to apply it lightly to the cheekbones. And then with the excess product, I'm going to bring it a little bit above the brow and a little bit down the nose as well. I feel like I need just a little bit more of a bronzy tone on the face. And because this look is about, again, being monochromatic, everything is very neutral on the face, I'm not going to go in with a blush because I think that's kind of how the look's supposed to be. It's not a very blushy look, but I feel like I look so dead without blush on. And this is a beautiful Guerlain bronzer. This is the Guerlain Terracotta Light, the Sunkissed Healthy Glow bronzer in the shade 03 Medium Warm. I don't know if you can tell because I've used this bronzer quite a lot. There are a little bit, it's like it's supposed to be a blush bronzer highlighter hybrid kind of thing, so that you don't necessarily need to apply all those 3 products on your face. You can just go in with one product, which is what I really like to utilize this product for, is when I'm just feeling lazy. I'll just apply maybe a concealer and then go over top, or like a tinted sunscreen, and then go over top of this, and I only need to apply this one product instead of applying a separate bronzer, highlighter, and blush. So I really, really enjoy this product because there is that beautiful peachy tone scattered throughout it, but it is a nice warm tone bronzer, and I feel like it does look like it complements this look very beautifully. But I'll just get a slight blush tone. I'm going to take this Guerlain Terracotta bronzer on this BK Beauty 104 brush. So I'm just going to actually distribute quite a decent amount off, get that excess product off on the back of my hand, and then just press it into the skin. Now you see I am pressing this into the skin. I'm not buffing or moving anything about because I have not set this foundation down with a powder. And when you apply a bronzer over top, sometimes if you buff your product in, it will disrupt any foundation or product that you've applied underneath. I just don't like the way it looks on the skin, but if you press it into the skin, you get a very beautiful, seamless application, and everything looks really nice and soft and still beautifully blended together. And when you press product into the skin, it tends to, again, it gets really pressed in there, so it does look a little bit more natural as well. I will not lie, I do feel like it is a little bit incomplete without blush, but I'm going to stay true to this look, and I'm not going to apply any blush. If I were to apply a blush, but I still wanted it to be within these bronzy sort of neutral tones, I'd probably go in with the Valentino Eye to Cheek blush. This is the dual use blush and shadow in the shade 9 Poudre, because I feel like it would pair very beautifully. I'm just going to keep this as is currently. But that is it for this latte makeup look, using some of my favorite luxury beauty products to just create this beautiful bronzy summertime look. I just realized I forgot one step. I'm going to take the Clé de Peau Refining Pressed Powder. This is just a translucent powder, and I like to finish off my makeup with it. So I'm just going to take this Wayne Goss O2 brush. I just want a really small brush because I want to really precisely powder my skin. Just right here where I have pores, the center of my chin, and the sides of my nose, because I want everything to look still really glowy and fresh and natural. But I feel like that is the perfect summertime bronze look that you could really use for any occasion. This for me would probably be more of a going out look, but I probably would add a little bit of blush. But I just thought I would take my spin on the latte makeup look and show you how to accomplish it. Let me know your thoughts on this latte makeup trend. This is like my favorite type of look because if you've watched any of my videos, you know how much I love just bronzy makeup. But that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this latte makeup look. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Like this video if you like it, and I'll see you in my next video.